Hello everyone, I'm back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my top figures from 2024. Last year got a ton of good figures, but which one stood out from the pack? Well, that's what this video is going to discuss. I'm going to show you my top picks from the year, as well as explain what made them so special to me. And I hope everyone's doing well. First and foremost, it is quite nippy outside. If you can't tell, I have a jacket as well as a hoodie, and it is we've been going through quite a little spell of snow here in North Carolina lately. It's clearing off, so it's looking way better than it did, say, 24 hours ago. But it has definitely been this is our second snow of the actually our second snow of the week. So it's been quite an interesting week for the winter weather. But again, I hope everyone's doing fine. I hope you're having an enjoyable new year thus far. And without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to go through some of the loose figures. And we're going to start off with this guy who... a very underrated figure. I think this was one of the sleeper figures of the year for a lot of collectors, but we're going with the WWE Legend Series Sultan, and the hat just makes the figure to me. But yeah, really obscure character in WWE history. He is the current, Rikishi. Can't remember the real name, but the father of Jimmy and Jay Uso. This was one of his many gimmicks that he had throughout the 90s in WWE. If you remember, he was also one part of the Head Shrinkers tag team. He was also part of the Samoan SWAT tag team in WCW in the late 80s, early 90s. So this figure is just such a toyetic figure. It's the Middle Eastern menace, gimmick. So you see he has the pointed boots similar to the Iron Sheik. A very just maroon theme going throughout the figure. The cape is really nice, and he has a face mask, and just the overall just gives you that classic, 80s, 90s WWE foreign Iranian menace type gimmick, as we saw a lot of wrestlers like that back in that era. But overall, a very solid figure. The hat does not stay. Well, actually, this is the best it's stayed on since in a while. But yeah, but again, just a very noteworthy figure in my collection. I'm really glad I picked this up. He's one of those figures that you're on the fence about it, because he's not someone that he was only around for a cup of coffee before he left for a while, then was repackaged as Rikishi in the early 2000s. So but a very cool figure. I'm glad I picked it up. Up next, we have Vader. This is the Royal Rumble Elites series Vader. And I just want to also preface too that some of these, I think most of these figures came out in 2024, I do believe. But even if it's actually what I just said doesn't need to be said. So yeah, but this was the Royal Rumble Vader series figure, and I do not know if this figure may have came out in 2023, but I purchased it last year. So again, it counts as a figure I purchased last year. And classic Vader. Vader, one of the most iconic big men of all time. I definitely love the Vader figures that we've gotten over the last couple of years. This, I believe, is actually I want to say this is a re-release from a figure they had way back in the day before I started collecting. But I can't say enough about Vader. Just a perfect figure. The max, the Vader, the head sculpt is on point. The head scan, the classic symbol with his fingers. Just the figure feels good in your hand. So again, love a good Vader figure. And this is a recent one. If you've been watching me, the Adam Copeland AEW figure. This figure is so legit, and he's just got back to AEW off of his injury, and this is just a wonderful figure. Just the vest. I really like the outfit, just the kind of the red and green, and it's excellent. If you watched my review last week, you will know how much I love this figure. So definitely one of my top picks for the year. Up next, we have CM Punk. This was CM Punk as part of the main event series 2-pack with Randy Orton. And this was, Punk from, that early, kind of mid 2010s era. And he has the pink and black outfit, giving homage to one of his icons, Bret the Hitman Hart. And again, solid figure. It's a basic figure, and of course, I love basic line, main event line figures. But again, this stands out because this is the first CM Punk figure that I have purchased since his return to WWE, since they started making his figures again. So, and then I just like the outfit. It really just stands out with the pink, and you can do some combos, some photos with some of my various Bret figures. So, very notable figure to the collection, and probably that's the only reason why I actually got that set. Because had it been Randy Orton and another superstar in that series, in that pack, I probably wouldn't have got it. Up next, we have the living legend Bruno San Martino. I did a video of him a couple of weeks ago, so definitely check that out to learn more about him and his legacy. But again, just one of those figures that when I saw it when I was in Texas, so when I saw it, I was like, I have to get this. I mean, Bruno San Martino, living legend, all-time great, longest reigning champion in WWE history, had to add this to the collection. Great figure. And up next, we have Kurt Angle Legend Series. This is Legend Series 24. And a vintage, this is the vintage Kurt Angle prior to getting his haircut. So this is Kurt Angle from, 2000 to 2001 when he was just on a different level and incredible. I mean, Kurt Angle is an all-time great, but this figure just perfectly captures, that era of Angle's career. And it comes with the gold medal. You have the It's True T-shirt, and great figure. Ready to take this out the box soon. Next, we have the ringside exclusive, defining moments, Bret Hart. And this figure commemorates his WrestleMania 8 attire. And again, and I don't have a lot of Bretts I don't have any, I believe. No Mattel Bret figures with just his solid pink attire. And I also like the jacket, because this is it's a very low-key jacket. It's not a lot of the bells and whistles and designs like as he would go on throughout the 90s incorporating his jacket. So this was the period of Bret where he was really launching into superstardom. I mean, he was really crossing that threshold from being a great, well-respected technical wrestler to really being the face of the WWE in that period. So really great figure. And this figure is representative of a lot of great Hulk Hogans we got this year. For some reason, they went into the vault and we got some seriously incredible deep cut Hogan figures this year. Figures of periods of Hogan's career that we have not really seen in figure form at any point ever before. And there were a lot of Hogan figures I could have chose for this, but I chose to include this 2-pack with Mean Gene Okerlund. And again, this once again captures, Hogan and not his traditional yellow, orange and yellow and red attire. And that's what I'm going for with a lot of these Hogan figures. This is Hogan probably from it was definitely the mid 80s, I'm guessing. I won't say late 80s, but he has the blue trunks, blue boots, a cool Mean Gene Mania shirt. And I believe this is from the inspiration from this series was from the tag team match that he and Okerlund had, I believe, against Paul Orndorff and someone else. I forgot who it was, but they did have a mix. They did have a tag team match back in the 80s. So again, and then 2 figures, extremely important figures in the history of AWA, the American Wrestling Association, also in the early days of the national expansion of WWF. I mean, Hogan, inarguably the most important wrestler of WWE in the late 80s and early 90s, and Mean Gene Okerlund in terms of his influence as an announcer and behind the scenes. I mean, Gene Okerlund, the all-time best backstage interviewer by far in wrestling. So 2 guys that just made 80s and early 90s wrestling, if you ask me. So definitely had to get this. And again, saw this in Georgia. So Texas, Houston. So I got this and the Adam Copeland figure same time, same Walmart. And we're up next. Another deep cut is Bam Bam Terry Gordy. Terry Gordy of the legendary Fabulous Freebirds, also of significant All Japan Pro Wrestling fame. His legendary tag team with Dr. Death Steve Williams, Terry Gordy. I cannot wait to do a video on him. Debating when to unbox this. Part of me wants to keep it in the box, but it needs to come out soon. But this figure really pays homage to Terry Gordy, and not so much of his executioner gimmick. Now, the executioner, if you are, if you know about Terry Gordy, by the time he got to WWE as executioner in 1996, he was way past his prime. His career was pretty much washed due to drug issues, but he did have this gimmick. But I'm so glad that we have the base of this figure is good old traditional Terry Gordy, and this is the Terry Gordy that if you were a fan of, World Class Championship Wrestling, Mid-South Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s and late 80s, 90s, this is the Terry Gordy we all remember as one of the all-time greats. And I even like how he has on the spine, on the side, he has a UWF belt. They did not do the matter of fact, I'm getting way too deep into this. This is going to be saved for the video on this figure, but I just love the fact that it's classic Terry Gordy on the side of here and not the executioner gimmick. So very, very great figure. Glad I got this. And then rounding out with a current guy, Solo Sikoa. Now, you may be asking, Solo Sikoa figure, what stands out? Well, to me, I just like it. And Solo Sikoa has been one of the most entertaining parts of WWE television throughout this year, and I've just enjoyed seeing his rise as a main event level talent. And this is his, I want to say, maybe third elite figure, because he had this first one that came out was very bare bones to me, and he may have had another one in between that, but I think they got a lot of things right with this Top Picks version. It just looks way more way more realistic detail on it, and he has the towel over him. You see the Samoan spikes, motion, the interchangeable hands. And then I just like the outfit too. And Solo to me is just a really cool character. So again, that rounds out my top 10 figures, and I do have a bonus. And you can't leave out Rey Mysterio. We can't. So of all the Rey figures I got last year, this, which was a part of the main event 2-pack with Gunther, this to me just stands out. The black and gold is just sleek. It is sharp. Then you have just the tattoos and everything. I mean, everything about this figure just clicks with me. So of all the Rey figures I got this year, this would have to be top of the list. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my best figures of 2024. And again, just thank you all for joining me on this ride. I have a lot more figures that we're going to be getting through this year, so I just can't wait to open some of these bad boys up, wait to get some new ones, and just have you along for this ride. So again, thank you very much for checking this out. And it is freezing out here, so I'm about to get inside in some warmth. But again, just thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I'll be getting back to you. And take care, and I will see you again after a while.